Okay, so it's Thursday morning. I think it's the 14th, and it's 5 to 4. No, 5 to 5. Oh, 5 to 5. It's getting light out, and the moon shenanigans is, it is like somebody's just up there driving this thing around, just driving it around, and then how it's not there, and then all of a sudden it shows up when it's ready to disappear, and um, and then when I'd seen it, that was filling in on one side the crescent, and then it was like it wasn't a slow thing. It was like it went from a crescent to a full in like a week or a week and a half. And so now that I just saw it again, it's on the other side. It's like it should be the other side. How it looks with the where it's like I, I don't know. It's just, and then sometimes like you're looking at this stuff and then it's like, did I dream this? Did I imagine this? Is this really happening? What's real? What's real and what's not real? Is it gets harder and harder to tell. And then the more it gets to where it's harder to tell, the more you realize it doesn't fucking matter. Doesn't fucking matter. Doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter. Whatever. It's all just shenanigans to wake you up in a fucking dream. It's just like, it's to get us out of this stuck in this reality. And then it's to push to get people to think, which I heard more people talking about this. People in the Pentagon are saying that the Anunnaki are returning. And I don't know if this was the real plane or whatever, but this plane that was given to him, it's like very flashy. And I don't know, everything is like there's micro, macro, so it represents something, but we may not be clear. Maybe it's about the gold standard, maybe it's about, because it's not just about being indulgent. That's not what oh, God, I swear to God, I get in my head that there's bugs in my ear. When something moves around, it's like, ah, and especially sleeping in a tent, in a sleeping bag. But anyways, oh, earwigs, y'all, yeah. Anyways, the, I don't know. I know everything is big show. And we're not going into a society that's going to be real indulgent, and because that's what we're leaving out of. And maybe it's to, I don't know, because like I see all these people who watch him and they see this such the opposite. It's so weird because I was even reading in the comments. So it was like, this is so weird when you hear somebody with these perspectives. And I don't remember what she was bitching about. Because I've seen one that he's taking away our rights. He's going to go more in on censorship. It's like all the things he's taking away is the corporate stuff. He's going on the Constitution. He's giving us rights back. But they just see it as he's taking away rights. And he's taking this away and taking that away. and then, um, and then, so they do these videos talking. And they're talking, I think they're talking in code too. I don't think, it seems like, because sometimes I'll be listening, I'm like, you have to kind of try and figure out like which side are they on, and but sometimes it's really easy to tell, and so many times when they just seem flabbergasted. But there's other people though who support him who start seeming like, well, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. And then a lot of the people who support him, who go with the Bible, I think that some of them are all, this is prophecy, but they need it all to go like, otherwise it throws them. And so that's what everything is for, is to throw you, to get you to question things. So all these different things are gonna all have a breakdown. It's like the breakdown of our society. But But anyways, in the comments and stuff, where they'll be like, oh, I know these people, they don't even know what you're talking about when they say he's taking away all your rights. And they're like, what rights? And these people, they're so blind. They can't see. When all of a sudden they realize, they're going to be so embarrassed. It's like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I think of them. And they think that of everybody on the other side. Oh, hold on. That powdery stuff stuck on my teeth. Um, well, and then the so the it's weird because they're looking at us the same way as what we look at them, and that is going to be the thing when the lights come on. And to me, it is on this side, and I'm not saying everybody who's in the MAGA movement or everybody who's on the red side or whatever, the line to me is how awake you are, how much of the picture you see, yeah, and how your mind is directed through it. And to me, it's like observation. It's just watching these people, watching it play out and stuff like that. And when you're caught up in it, it's different. And so when they're caught up they're in a state of division, but they have limited view, because there's people who are so fucking hateful on the one side, blaming the other side. So it's both sides have something they're not seeing. One side is not seeing the spiritual implications and the stuff going on the bigger scale and stuff, and it's biblical, all of that business. And then on the other side, they're being misled through the media, which is kind of a dependency to a lot of people. So it's kind of like breaking that dependency, breaking that follower kind of mode. It's, yeah, rather than be called a follower, it should be called a regular, somebody who regularly shows up. But a follower, because we don't want to be followers. We all want to be leaders, even if we're only leading ourselves and setting a tone or creating a wave, which would be your legacy, is your direction. So you want to lead yourself in the direction that you feel connected to or motivated to go, by connecting to your internal guidance of like your purpose. And not everybody, not everybody is here for the same thing. So some people don't sit and think about a legacy or what they're leaving behind or whatever. I think when people get older, they do kind of think of that more. Or when they're faced with death, they kind of feel a lot more like, what am I leaving behind? Is anybody even going to remember me in a couple years? And it's crazy, because as the people who know you go, the people who didn't know you, aren't going to know you. And but that's when then you're back with your soul group. It seems like to me, it's like when you all get back. But I don't know, because I don't know that it's just that, like, when you think about, to me, like when you start thinking about the heavens and you start putting it like little dolls and in little playhouses and all that stuff, that's where it starts to be. And that's three-dimensional thinking. And it's a lot more vague. It's a lot more, I hear precise. And what I see is like your abilities. And so it's, you're able to go to the experiences that you want to go to, and just go and be like, the Paris thing comes in my head again. like, you're like, I wonder what Paris would be like in the 1800s to go have lunch. And you just zone in on that, you focus in on it. And it's not like you are sitting there thinking, it's your consciousness, it's your mind, it's your orb. And then your orb can see yourself there, and then you can experience it by the depth of how you can communicate with the experience. And so that's like with time traveling. So if you can put yourself into the experience, if you can just, like, to me, I don't put myself into the experience. I just look at something. Like, I'll think of something and then I'll look at it in my mind, and then it starts playing out like pictures or like movies. And so then I start seeing different things. But that would be where you would take yourself and project it into that, where there's a portal. And that's where you like mirror, like, things of reflection are something about portals. And that's why water is a portal. It isn't just like all the aliens are living in the water. It's no, the water is like a transfer station. You can move through it. It's a portal. And so you can, and there's realities. There's realities that are based on vibration. So the ocean is full of more like other worlds, but you can't see them unless you're at their vibration. And then when some of these are at our vibration, and we mess with like mermaids and stuff like that. But these mermaids are not like cartoon mermaids. These are, I don't know that they're predatory either, but they aren't, they're not just out there singing or whatever. I don't know if they, I think maybe they eat people too. Like, I don't know. But whatever, they're at the same vibration, or you wouldn't be able to see them. And maybe because there was such a long period of time where nobody believed in anything. Nothing. No matter how much the Inquirer was trying to tell people, nobody would listen. And I listened. And then people laugh at you. You read the Inquirer, you weirdo. It's like, they got true shit in there. Oh, that's not true. There's no aliens. What are you talking about, crazy? So, and there was another one too. I think it was called Star Magazine, because Inquirer was, lots of people read the Inquirer, even though it was like everybody made fun of it. But inquiring minds. So, anyways, however it works, I just know that there's lots of realms around us. There's places in the forest. And even when people go through like portals or whatever in the forest, sometimes they just go and all of a sudden it's just one cabin. So see, somebody can be having an experience. So that is like, you say, like a soul who is up there thinking, what would it be like if I could go and live in a cabin in the woods by myself? And you see it and you project yourself into it, into the experience, and then you're having this experience, and then somebody crosses into your experience or something. And so you're in your own world, you're in your own realm of reality. And then, but there's weaknesses, and so there's crossover. But then you can't just slide through unless your vibration matches. That's the firmament, is we aren't a match for it, but we're raising our vibration instead of becoming a match. So the firmament's thinning or falling or something's going on. And then, and the sky looks so weird, and the clouds look so weird, and every night here it's like, I swear to God, you just go out there and watch the sky and be like, it is these different skies merging. It's like, are they gonna all of a sudden open up and here comes the Anunnaki? Be like, that'd be cool. I'd like that. But who knows? I mean, I don't know still what's going to happen. I mean, we're definitely moving towards the peace on earth and the Jubilee and stuff. Like, you can see all this stuff is going together to take us into that direction. So all the pieces are coming together if you're looking at that puzzle, but they're all looking at different puzzles. And so that's what, to me, is like the lights coming on, the awakening and stuff, is all of a sudden when they see the bigger picture, because they're just focused on like the red dot on the map. They don't see the whole map. And so now, that's what the awakening is going to be about, though, is like where you're not just looking at this point, you're looking at all of this. And that's the part where it's going to feel like, how did I miss that? How did I not see? But there's reasons. And so those are your healing points. Those are the things that you need to look at in yourself and go deeper into. Nobody can tell you, because it's the complexity to your own understanding and your own communication that leads you in the direction that you need to go. So, and that's where, these people trusting GPT, tell them what their purpose is and what their past lives are and what their, all that. It's like, is going to interfere also with your own connection. And in the, you could also think of something that can also be hijacked. And so there's entities can speak through things, and there's tricksters. There's a lot. You got to learn through you, even if because to me is the communication through myself, and then I get communication outside of myself that would be a confirmation, which I even still question as to, well, is there something that's been tricking me? And then it's always like, for my whole life, so there's been tricking me, like, this is a long game. And it's like, well, there's going to be some lesson behind it if that were the thing, but I don't see it that way. I see it as like I get confirmation to what I'm being told, because I don't know, because I need it. Otherwise, I start feeling like I'm crazy or something. Oh, and right now, it is hard not to feel crazy. Oh my God, everything is so weird. Like I said, it's like, am I awake? Am I dreaming? What's happening? And everything just feels weird. And when the one video too, where the people are saying, Donald's taking away like their vote. There's a big vote that just went through. They're taking away. There's censorship shit where they're going to censor us for every little fucking thing, and which they already are. It's like some people don't realize that they are, because they only are looking at certain information, and that information is pushed while other information is held back, and that is going to be a part of the why you didn't see, you didn't question enough, you blind follower, you trusted the wrong people, you would rather focus on hate and division, your biases prevented you from hearing. It's going to be like a whole bunch of different things. Like, you got to go in and look in your own heart of hearts, your own truth, to figure it out, what your problem is. And so, anyways, that is the awakening thing, and that's what we're going through. But there's still this abrupt thing that's going to happen. But to me, there's an abrupt thing that happens about the awakening to set everybody straight. But then there's still this change. The world is going to change, and that's still coming too. And I don't see it as being one event. It seems like to me, but maybe the awakening thing is just keeps being this really slow thing to lead us into this big thing. I don't know, but it's definitely two different things to me. This awakening and the abrupt part where all of a sudden people are going to see what they hadn't seen. And then to me, there's a whole healing aspect to that. And then there is this, we won't stand for this. And the world flips itself over. And because we are the power that pushes it, we are the change. And they keep us all divided and insecure and mad and angry and all that stuff. But something's going to happen to set people right. And so, and I don't know, what it's going to be. It can be something with the money. There's a lot of different things it could be. And so we just got to see. It could be the Anunnaki coming in and landing and telling us. And who knows? Like, there's a lot. One thing is this is irritating, is in Singapore. So and then also, to me, so much of this is a show. So this can just be a part of the show. But what it shows is, so Gator, because I feel he was gone a few years back. And so I think, he was one of the first ones to go. And his has been a stand-in or look-alike or something, an actor. I mean, Donald is constantly saying that kind of stuff. Oh, it looks like an actor from, what does he call it? Central Casting. Looks straight out of Central Casting. And because I think a lot of them are. Some of them you can even look up and find their IMDb, or like Hillary, the one who is Hillary's stand-in. She's an actress. She's been playing Hillary for a long time. So then she just becomes the other Hillary impersonator. And then she's been a lot busier because Hillary's not been around. And who knows, if it was like certain people approached her and said, this is your chance to redeem yourself. You do these things and follow this script that is written by the other side, and you will get less of a sentence, but there's still going to be, I mean, I had heard there was still going to be like people's clones that were going to get in trouble for some of their shit. Like if you think about it, the Diddley, him having, he's probably got a couple of clones. And you have the people who, Kevin Hart has said like he's got a bunch, like all these different people who have those. Like if they send them out to go to a party or something, and then that person is involved in stuff, it's not the main guy who's going to go down, it's the other one. So that will really make court start being weird, because these videos and stuff of trying to put together, is it the real person or the clone? It's gonna get complex if they have to do that. But anyways, a lot of these people do have more than one of them. And so I don't know about Gator, but I think he's been gone a long time. And then supposedly now he just had a meeting in Singapore and with the government officials, and they decided to mandate these things. And the thing I was hearing, the certain places that are really crowded, then they think of the solution to overpopulation. And who knows what they talk about in these meetings, if they're that upfront about it. Like, well, you want to wipe out 3/4 of the population? I got the solution. And it's like, that's kind of funny too, because all of a sudden I've seen it like racehorses, and I'm going neck to neck, the Froud and the Gator neck to neck over who's the biggest, most horrible serial. And there's more. I'm sure there's more that we don't even know who all these weirdos are. But those ones came onto the main stage loud and clear. And so, anyways, that though definitely shows, like, if that government is doing that, then I mean, would it have to be blatant, that that's their solution to the overpopulation? And if it's all part of the show, it's gonna be, it's gonna be bad. Like if they are gonna be like, it's going to be mandated, and then they're going to go through and can be all dropping, and then we're all going to be watching, and it's going to be like, oh my God. I can remember when some of this stuff is going, you got to stay in observation. Even if it's really happening, then it's meant to happen that way to create the change that's going to happen. Otherwise, it is part of the show. It's not even really happening. And because I've doubted the whole thing at the Strip the whole time. I've thought, this is a fucking movie thing. This isn't even real. And then at the same time, on Tubi or something. There was a documentary that came up, and it was the problems at the Strip. It was made a couple years ago, and I swear to God, they were using footage from that. I swear to God that it was like this stuff was already done, but nobody paid any attention. So now they started playing it, and the people think it's really happening. And so many people think all that stuff is really happening, but I don't think it's going the way that all these people think. And I don't know for sure because I don't know what all is a part of the show and what all is really happening and what all happened before and that we missed and we weren't paying attention. And so now, we've got to be shown, we've got to understand. And it's more of understanding what we missed and figuring out, like, how was I missing that? What was I doing? And then it's all going to come down to, you were running on a treadmill trying to get to work. And and the TV was blaring at you at the same time the radio was talking about all the storms that were coming in and showing and all the serial killers in your neighborhood and how many pedos have moved in the last couple weeks. So it's just it's weird because they don't there's some of those people in jail, but they let so many of them go on the streets and stuff. But then they want to make sure that we know that they're out there, maybe because they use those ones as a beard or something. So whenever they see, like, oh, it wouldn't even surprise me if they directed them which neighborhoods to move into because they had their eye on this kid on Facebook for a while. Get those guys to move into this area because when I swoop in and take that one, they'll all be the fall guys. Like, that's the kind of weirdo shit that goes on in this world. That's the depth to where the people, it's like they're playing 5D chess or 4D chess or 3D chess or whatever. It's like you're playing in two different games. And so anyways, and everything is to keep us on edge and stressed out and that was a loud crash, and overworked and stuff. And it is such a different pace when you're just going at your own pace. You don't have to go to work. You just go do what you want to do. You just go with the weather. You just go with it's way different. And I just know that's how we're all meant to live. And it's so crazy when I lost my license and stuff and how resistant I was to it. And it was like, no, I've got to stay, like I have a purpose of, being a productive citizen or something. I got to work. I got to do this. And I felt like such a failure. And then it took time, weirdly enough, my brother telling me, and then that same thing where he was like, God, you're so lucky. I wish I'd get a brain injury. It's just like, don't say that stuff. Then look what happened. Only a few years later, you got to really watch. And see, that's the whole thing with birthdays too. You talk it into being. You say it into, that's the thing with affirmations. That's the thing with convincing yourself or whatever. You say it, you convince yourself into being. That's the whole concept behind manifestation. All these people want to manifest, but they're manifesting every day. They're just not manifesting the shit they want. And so anyways, but that my brother saying that to me was where it changed my attitude all of a sudden. I was like, because he had an interest, he was making movies and his work was interfering. And so he wished he could have all the time that I had. And to him, because I was getting paid for disability, so, got injured. And then, but they should have owed me way more because I should have won in court because they were negligent. But the court system protects the fucking bad people. So the in the corporation is what we're fighting against, and it's big. It's the beast. It's like as individuals, we just get swallowed by it. It's when we all come together, then we swallow it. When we all come together as one big giant mass, we're the fucking blob, and they're the beast, and we swallow it fucking up. That's why, when the tables turn, we eat the rich, that little thing. And that's the thing is like, we come together, we're way more bigger, but when we're fighting against it, it's way bigger than us. And so going into fight against it in the courts and all this stuff is just, Everybody who's gone in for big things knows it's just like, it's bullshit, man. It's fucking bullshit. This whole fucking system is such bullshit. And even like Crystal, when I had the surgery last year, and having issues and around the belly button. I swear to God, they should not be fucking around with our belly button. I just know that. And I don't know that they know that, but I fucking know that now. And then they just, when they go in, they're just trying to figure it out. So they just start guessing. That's even their motto, is that they're practicing medicine. They're practicing. They don't know. They're just trying to guess. They're just, well, I tried this, didn't work. And then we're just the subjects who allow this to happen to us. And when they mess up, and then it's like, you got to go back to them to see what to fix. Now I'm to the point of like, no, I'm not going back anymore. I don't go to them. And because they just mess you up more. And especially now, as the corporation is like, the whole thing is popping off. Because you got some of the medical stuff going down. You got some is, uh, it's like the worst of the worst who's still in there working, I think. Because you're like, are you immoral? Are you in debt over your head that you can't even, like, you got to be able to see what the fuck is going on. Like, and if you can't see what the fuck is going on, you don't be coming at my body and telling me shit, man. It's like, fuck no. So that is totally, that's move at your own risk, but everything is lessons. And maybe, you'll get a good one, and maybe you won't. It's like, that's the chance, that's your chance in life. But you got to follow your instincts. You got to follow whatever it is, because there's lessons. And so, if you are having some issue and it just keeps being and you don't know what to do, I mean, and you can always just take it as far as you want to go. You can go in and you can get, the imagery, the blood tests, the diagnoses, you can get their prognoses, what their plan of action is, and then get a second opinion. And your second opinion can be like trying to figure out like natural things, like start looking up different things, naturopathic and herbalist, and different things that you can do naturally to combat whatever it is that you got going on. But anything that they do to fix it is going to be shenanigans, I think. Shenanigans with insurance, shenanigans with the hospitals, shenanigans with anything with the corporation, shenanigans with the people who are still out there working. It's like, I don't know. But there's a lot of good doctors who are switching sides, though. Who are starting to be honest and starting to go, like, not support the pharmaceutical, and starting to say, well, you can go down to the feed store and get this, and that's going to cure everything you got. And so, I don't know, because everything is, like, even if you have an infection, bacteria, that's bugs. If you, like, everything is, all the issues. That's funny, too, because then it is, like, in the computer, it's bugs and viruses. So, and then, I don't know, it's weird. Like, how much of a network of that is. Like, on what level it are things. That's what trips me out. Like, are we like some people always say, like, we're a giant computer or something. I don't think we're a giant computer. I think that we're organic. I don't think that we're technology, but that is maybe where the division comes into with the different groups and their philosophies or something. I don't know. But to me, there's the organic. But then it's weird because then it's like, but there's nothing really there. That would be the thing, too, is all of a sudden if the lights go out and then, and everybody, if it, like in that one QHHT, and I've heard this again from somebody else, that the lights are going to go out and then everybody's going to see what's really there. And it would look really raggedy. like when my tooth's all broken, look all raggedy like that. And then it is creators that come in and make it, I think, because this is all going to change. And so, I don't know. I wonder if we are going to have a lot more pink and white and flowery trees. And I wonder what it is going to be like. Because it's what people are going to, it's like what the people want, what the people love. It's like it's going to turn kind of more like that. It's going to turn more dynamic and more beautiful. And so, I don't know. It seems like there's a lot more flowery trees, and they're just popping up and popping up. Like over here by my mom, she said they grow like weeds. They're all over the place, and they're real pretty and white and flowery. So she was carrying on about those, and everywhere we go, oh, I love those flowery trees, and that would be, you know, because I know I've said that. Like I think a lot of people are always like, I love the flowery trees, so it wouldn't surprise me at all is when things come back to the new world that we're creating, if there wouldn't be a lot more flowery trees because we all love them, so they just start popping up everywhere. And so I just gonna be like more magical and beautiful. And then the QHHT thing, it said it was like everything was gonna go off, and then we were gonna be surrounded by darkness, which was gonna show us what was really there, and then the lights were going to come back on. But when they came back on, it was going to look different. Everything was going to look different because we were going into the reset of the new stage setting, like so the lights would go off. But this, she said that the it's still being created because it's created through us, and that it's how we want it to be, which to me is the things that we love. So it's the things that we love. But see, right now people are so focused on fear and hate and division, they don't focus enough on love and what they love. And so I can see how that could be being created because not everybody's putting out that kind of love vibe, like, oh, I love that, I love that, I love those, I love this, I love that. You know, that is what the universe reads into, and that's like the creation. And that's what I said is like in life, like when you go around and you just love this and love that, and then you really want a house, so you're manifesting your house, and it takes, you know, like an 18-year-old moving out of their parents' house and having a house suddenly may not be that they are mature enough to handle a house, to be able to keep up with it, to do all the things that need to be done. So it may be in order for them to have the house that they want, that they have to go through some steps of maturity and growing up. And they keep going towards that, and the universe will take them on this ride to get them to this maturity level so that they can have the things that they want. And so throughout, and while you're doing that, then you're looking around and you're like, oh, I love that. Oh, that house over there. I love the way that has that rock wall in front of it. I love the peak on the, you know, you just go through life and you look at the things you love, and it's like you register that. That's what the universe reads into. And then when your house comes, it's going to have all this stuff that you love, and you're going to know it's your house, and it's going to be your house, and it's all the stuff you love because you manifested it, even though it was always going to become yours, and that what is yours always comes to you. But that's how intricate this stuff is, that you're in the process of creating something that's already there. But that's why I say it's like the book is written, and that's why I say that you got to relax because it's written. The destination's already set. You don't have to get up every morning and try and figure it out. And you sure don't have to get up every morning and be distracted by them, because them distracting is what keeps people in the place of stagnation and not growing. And not growing is a horrible feeling to a soul. To me, your energy feeling stagnated and not able to grow and be free and stuff like that is a bad feeling. And so you have all these souls like that feel bad, but they don't really get why it is they feel bad. They don't really get what it would be to make them feel better. They kind of think, well, if the government would do this, if I would have that, if I'd have a perfect job, if I'd have the perfect love, all these different things, then they think that they could be happy. But the but that's the thing too with life. Everything isn't just about being happy. It's about enjoying the ride and not getting too swept up in it, and being able to keep perspective, and that would be kind of as an observer. But the thing is it's an evolution, because it's not like you did it wrong. It's not like your past lives that you weren't in observation, that you were doing it wrong. You should have done this decades ago. Right? No, it's lifetimes ago, centuries ago. You should have done this. It's like, no, everything has its set time. And and in other lives, if you were distracted, you wouldn't have learned the lessons that you came there to learn. This is just a new time, and this is a time of awakening, because this is a more uh, direct way of you, a direct approach to you cleaning up all of your own baggage. It's empty. It's like spring cleaning. It's like you're cleaning out all the cobwebs. You're cleaning out the closet. You're getting rid of stuff you don't need anymore. You're just getting everything all nice, cleaned up, and sparkly, for guests that are coming, which is kind of like what we've been doing. She's got all this company coming to visit while they're traveling this summer, going to see grandkids and stuff. So they're coming by and visiting. We got our little place all cleaned up out there in her little garden and stuff, which, because, she's a bit of a hoarder in a lot of people's eyes, and she keeps a lot of just stuff, and she keeps it for a long, long time, and people will be like, you need to get rid of that, you need to get rid of that. And so now she's got a lot of this stuff that people told her to get rid of, and it's up there being used. It's got a new life. And so that's the thing with the upcycle. And that's the thing with her garden. It's all her stuff. I mean, we had to buy a couple more pots. I bought her those silver ones, but she already had a lot of those pots. Uh, she already had all those. And so it was just more of moving them into one area, and then you had to build up a bed for them to try and get them level, because it's like this. So you have to build up all of these like terrace kind of like little places around, and all the rocks the little rock walls to hold it up and stuff. She had all those rocks that she had gotten she had saved and saved and saved and saved, and people had wanted them and stuff, and she's like, no, I'm gonna use them. It's like, it may take a couple decades, but I'm using them. And so and now she has them used. That fence that was laying out there for so long, and it was all like it was all grown over with all this stuff. I'm shaking it out and stuff, and now it's hanging up on the trees just like she wanted. Well, I don't know. She just wanted it somewhere. And I guess nobody had ever thought of hanging it off the tree, but where I was, I used the trees as part of the fence. If there was a tree right there, I just wrapped the thing around the tree, the fence, and kept going. And so use the tree. Some people, though, will go in and cut down the tree and put in their post, but I didn't do it that way. So anyways, I just saw the trees as being like a part of it, and they are there to help out too. And we aren't being too mean. We just screw things in there, which they just seep sap out all the time. And anything you put in there just starts out. Instead, you could put a tap in there, and I bet you get some stuff. Because that is like how they get the pine tincture stuff, and that stuff is so good for you. I bet she's got so much untapped resources out here. But I bet you could totally tap into that tree, let it do its dripping, and save that. And then I bet you that is some kind of elixir that is like, you just take a spoonful of that, you're all healed up. So, oh no, but it's totally drippy of sap. And but using the trees to hold the fence, and I don't know, it's like being, to me, kind of working in harmony with the nature or something. Like, because it wants to be a part of it. Like, what was that I had seen? It was a few years ago. It was something I was thinking about with focusing on the trees. And see, the trees like to be useful and be interactive and a part. They don't like it when we are the same of, like, I don't know, humans kind of are, everything is there for us and nothing else matters but us. And that is not being in harmony. That is not having empathy or compassion. Is not even looking at something else alive and giving it any kind of like it matters. It's like it's having its own living experience, and we overlook it because we think we're so important, that everything we're doing is so important. And so it's kind of like the human selfishness, this human, but it's weird too, because it's a lot of it is based on fear, and also, yeah, like mind control. Because if people were programmed when they were born, and then they were told about existence from a different perspective, and how your imprint matters and what you bring to the day is significant. And, if you're running around stomping on bugs and hitting dragonflies and kicking puppies and stuff, then you're, as that different kind of energy, like. And so going in and being more, like something goes in your way, it's like, oh, let it pass. That's the thing of the going at a certain pace, not being like, whoa, that was in my way, I'm gonna run over it. Where it's like nothing else matters. Who cares? It's just an old possum. Who cares? It's just a squirrel. Who cares? It's just a dog. Who cares? It's just a person. Who cares? It's just there's like, well, it's up to you to care. When you start slowing down and thinking about it, it's like, well, that's alive. I'm like, why am I more important than that? And that's, to start to have compassion, or to connection to what's around you, to the other things. That's going into harmony. And that's where you're going to find more peace. You're not going to find peace in this, not giving a shit, rushing. And especially when you're not giving a shit and you're running over possums to get to the meeting, then the energy that you're going to be putting out, you're not going to like what's coming back. And so things aren't going to go right. And that's the karma thing, when you're going in that energy, in that direction, when it comes back, it's not going to be pleasant. And so getting into the groove of life, into the harmony, is where you're going to find that peace. But see, it's a different lifestyle, and they've sold people on this other lifestyle. But really, the lifestyle that's where you're going to find yourself is one where you spend time with yourself, when you are yourself, and not in a self-indulgent, selfish way, because it is more of a God, this throat clearing. There's because my time is spent out here in service doing stuff. But then when you take a step back, then also it's like, well, it's also communal, because I'm here taking up space. So I need to be productive in this space in order to make it a increasing, energetic, positive. And so I need to be giving into it. But still, that is being more in service. So it's not self-indulgent at all. So it's self-indulgent kind of energy is kind of, to me, is kind of like blind to that. Like, they're very centered, focused on themselves. They don't see how others feel and think and stuff. And the more you sit back and can pull yourself out of just thinking about you and see how others think and feel, that helps you to be more compassionate, empathetic, in service and stuff like that. So it's weird because like when you think about the selfishness and stuff and how selfish we are, and we're going into a time where you would think is more selfish because it's more about self, but it's looking at self different with different priorities, and the but going at the pace of the earth, the pace of the day is the way that you find more peace rather than trying to push and force a day to happen the way it was scheduled to happen, what you should have had happen, or whatever. Yeah, when you allow things to happen and you go at the pace, that's when you're going to find so much less stress, so much more peace. But that also is challenging. It takes time because it's programs you have to break too in order to get into the mindset of letting the day happen, going with the flow, not trying to control things, and seeing the deeper meaning behind the lessons and stuff, and why things have a certain pace, and why there's timing behind your life and stuff, why it's fated and destined, but it's all based on timing, and you can't speed it up, you can't slow it down. It's got its own pace. And so, man, I'm getting my own self twisted up. Hopefully it's making sense though, because it is weird how it's like we're so selfish and so much hatefulness and so much fear and stuff, but then in but the people aren't really doing good for themselves. They're not taking care of themselves. And so it's like you switch more into putting into you, taking care of yourself, and giving yourself more time, giving yourself more of your energy, and looking at yourself more thoroughly, in order to have awareness of yourself and manage yourself and understand your patterns, and how you can more positively influence your life and stuff. And so it's because going into where we're going, it's not a selfish kind of self awareness or self. It's like a different kind. It's like a kinder version of ourselves, one that is, but it's also a lot more caring about ourselves because we're at better boundaries, better standards, better communication, less toxic behaviors and stuff, and more being in service. But being in service also will make you feel good, which I did notice this because the other day on the energy, I was becoming like overwhelmed, like, oh my God, another job, oh my God, the wood being, oh, it was just like, I felt like I was drowning or something. And it was making me feel like angry and resentful or something. And I kept on thinking, this has got to be the energy. Like, this is so weird. Why am I feeling so weird like this? And but now it's switched, and now I feel like oh God, I want to get out there, I want to move that wood, I want to do this, I want to do. So now I'm back to feeling like more my old self of like, I want to get this done, I want to get that done. And so yeah, the energy can make it feel like, boy, this energy just going all over the place, and it can pull you and make you just feel like, oh. And then all of a sudden you pull back and it's like, okay, now I feel fine again. So just like when you're writing it out, don't overreact or get real pissed or scream at somebody or anything. Just let the energy like do its thing. And just with awareness, like be aware of yourself and your emotions, talk to yourself through it. Sometimes you're gonna try and quiet yourself and won't shut the fuck up ever. So, but uh, everything is just takes more looking like I can hear looking glass, and but looking glass, that is so much more. Alice in the Looking Glass, the Looking Glass that was where they could see the future, looking through a looking glass, a portal, looking through, like there's a lot of different things, like everything has these it's like everything is a spectrum, and they try and really uh, whittle us down to a very minute view on things. But everything is about you going into it as a spectrum and finding yourself in how you see things, and stop seeing things the way that they tell you to see things in order to be a good person. Which these people are trying to tell us how to be a good person. None of them are fucking good people. But they know it matters to us, so then they put that pressure on us. And so then there's a lot of people who want to be a good person. I want to be a good person. And so many people use that too. Like, even if you go read comments and say, well, I'm a good person. I'm nothing like them. Oh, well, I'm a good person. It's like, we all want to be a good person. But what is a good person? And that's what, you got to be here figuring out. And that's what the universe is doing, a big show, showing you, is that a good person? Is that a good person? And there's so much darkness being purged out. It's making it very clear, the darkness and the hate and the anger and the benevolence and stuff. There is like a lot of, past life traumas and stuff playing out too. So there's just a lot going on. And, like I said, the ocean isn't like where we just, if any place where there's a realm, it wouldn't be like they're living in this aquatic thing. Some of them could live in a ship. It depends on what their vibration, what their experience is all about. So they could live in a ship that looked like a city, and they all live in it in the water. And if we went down there, we could see the ship. But in most cases, whatever realms and realities and stuff are down there, we wouldn't see them. We could go down there, we wouldn't see them because they're in a different vibration. And then that is where we're surrounded. There's tons. And we think, well, the one we're at, that's the only one there is. That is this self-indulgent mind thing of like, oh, you really think you're the only thing out there? You're the only thing out there. That always weirded me out when people would say that. I'd be like, how can you think that? Like, that is so weird to me. So anyways, I don't know, I've been talking 50 seconds. Like, I couldn't tell how long I've been talking. It seemed like that there was more stuff that I wanted to say. There's lots going on. Oh, there was one thing though makes me happy. I'll show my hair while I'm doing this too. See, I can't even tell if it's. I think more is growing in. So, but now when I go, the dogs are gonna stay upstairs and in the backyard, which was like, oh, that's so much. I don't know why it came to me. It was just kind of stressing me out about leaving the garage door open. I was like, man, that would be fucked. Everything I was seeing about it. Like, dogs being down here and being alone. Archie stressing the fuck out about it. Max will stress out. Archie will tear shit up. And then Max will get in on it. I'll come back and this place will be tore down, man. Max would spend all his time trying to figure out how to escape out of the fence. Because he'd be in panic, like, oh, maybe she's never coming back. What are we doing? Stella would be pissed off because she's used to eating 4 or 5 times a day, and it's going to be down to eating like twice a day at odd times and stuff. And I was like, dang, it's going to suck. And then, I'm going to come back, and that place is going to be torn up and full of bugs. And, anyways, but then it came to me a little, the back. I could sleep on the deck. It's covered deck, and then underneath it, there's even another part that's covered from the deck above it. So it's like they've got 2 places that they could be able to be sleeping, and I'm gonna go out and fix it up more. And we got the gates up there, so she can gate off, try and keep the cats out for the few days that I'm gone, and then just have the dogs upstairs and in the backyard. Don't even have them come down here at all. So I talked to her yesterday, and she was like, yeah, I was thinking I was going to just have them come up here anyways, because it was going to be too hard to be going up and down there to do it. And so she was going to have them come up there, but now I was like, just have them up there the whole time. Don't put them down here to sleep, nothing. I said it'll be way better. They'll just sleep out there, and they may sleep in the house. And she'll just go with the flow and see what, how it goes. sleeping in there at night, I don't know, might be like they'll be up looking for cats all night and shit, so they may just have to sleep out there. But it's all fenced in and it has plenty of places to sleep, and I think it should be pretty hot. And even if it's rainy, there's still, her deck is covered and stuff. It's like a little room and it's full of dog beds and stuff. So anyways, I was like, that's the thing. We'll just get the cats where the cats are more segregated. So we're gonna close, because she's got catios on every side of the house. Gonna close the catio off to the backyard, and then force them to go into this other one. But that's where we're gonna put in our work. Is I'm gonna help her get that one back up and running, so she can open that one up and put the cats in that one, and then that backyard will be all closed off and it will be safe, and it'll only be a few days and then I'll be back. So I feel much better about that. It's still, there's still the whole thing with just traveling and going to the airports and going to TS. There's the whole thing with all of the shit. And who knows what list I'm on? Are they gonna really go in and fuck? And then all the shenanigans with planes, the shenanigans with the air and the atmosphere, and it's like, it's just a lot. I'll be glad once I go, and I'm sure once I get there. And then I'm glad too that one of my daughters is going with me. That's gonna be a lot better than just going by myself. And then once we get there, I'm sure once we get on the plane and we land and stuff, then it's gonna be like, okay, now we'll just focus on what we're doing here, and then not sit and stress out about, because I get stressed out. Like Stella is, she's almost 9, I think, and she has spent all of her life with me. And so when I'm not around, because I mean, her whole life I haven't been working or anything. It's, she's my companion, I'm her companion. And then we had Winston too, but then he died, and I just didn't realize, I didn't know what the C was. I didn't know it was P back then, or I would have done things different. When they say that, and he's 12, and the vet had told me when he was a puppy, when he was getting all his, that all of the golden retrievers were getting some type of cancer, and they were all dying by the time they were 8. And so I was like, well, I think he said you'll be lucky if he lives to be 12 or something. So then I was like, okay, well, I'll be lucky if he lives to be, and then what happened? He lived to be 12, because what we say and stuff. So with Stella, I keep being like way further out. But anyways, yeah, see, I don't even want to put that limitation. I want 13 years at least with her. Then you just still put a limitation, especially when you hear that one dog lived to be 31. There's another one that lived to be 26 and shit. It's like, they can live way longer. Just like what people are going to find out, we can live way longer. This sped up aging thing is all by us being depleted by chemicals and all that shit. But yeah, we're going to go back to living the 800,000 year mark, probably even longer than that. Like, don't forget, we got beings around here who've been living like 30 or 40,000 years and shit. Like a bit, Anki and whoever, these Anunnaki guys come back. They're fucking old as fuck, man. They're fucking old. So we're gonna be able to live like it all depends on how long you want to play that character. Like how long you want to take that, where do you want to take this character? What do you want it to go and do? You got to go and experience it. And that's why when some of the people are leaving, just figure they're going to create a different character. Like they were done with that one and they're going to go make another one, but you would recognize them still. On heaven on earth, you would still know them when you would see them, because there's some kind of soul recognition. We have a soul recognition. We can recognize other souls that we know, even if we don't know them in this world. We can still recognize them. So when we go to Age of Aquarius, we've had somebody leave, and then people are coming back and stuff. It's like you'll know their souls or something. You'll know them because we don't have all of this stuff. We're going to be so much more connected in our soul, and the reality of what our soul knows and stuff. And so there's just all sorts of people here, like, who are like, oh, I felt like I knew him from another time or something, but I never met him. It's like, well, then you're gonna start realizing, like, oh, somebody I knew from some past life or something. And it could even be like, it depends on, I guess, the people. If you're like, oh yeah, I lived this past life in Greece, and that guy was my neighbor, and I don't know, it's gonna be all like different people's depth to what they can see. And then, anyways, and people have to be able to trust themselves too. And then they have to learn their own discernment. So, I don't know, there's a lot. There's a lot to this awakening. But luckily though, the awakening is remembering. So, it's not like the people have to go learn this fresh and new. It's like they just have to remember it. And it's how far they've come in their lessons and in what they've learned through their different lives and stuff. So, anyways, let's look at my tooth. Let me think if there was something else. So, that took like a huge relief off of me, though. I'm thinking, okay, the dogs are just gonna stay upstairs and stay in the backyard and not be down here at all, especially down here at night with the door open all night by themselves. I was like, oh, I don't know, that was so stressing me out. And then, so let me think, is I don't know. I don't really know. I don't even know. I swear to God, I just feel like everything feels weird. I feel like I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. I don't even know what the hell. It just is weird. Everything. I feel weird. This world is weird. It's falling apart. I don't know how much longer. Sometimes it's like, God dang, it feels so weird all the time. Like, how much weirder is this gonna get? It's like I'm holding on by a thread already. It's like it's weird. And then plus, I do keep doing this where I get up, go take a nap, get up, go take it. So the days are all just like, and then some days I'll be up doing a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know. Everything is weird. Everything is so weird. It's so different than what it was, how it was. So, anyways, I just keep on talking about nothing. So, let's just end this here. Just don't forget, because I'm telling you, the places where you want to, like, and it's not just learning how to love yourself to, be like, I'm the king of Sheba, I'm the best there is, I'm the, the royal from, these people who are like, I'm Anunnaki royalty, and the Anunnaki show up and go, we don't know you. But anyways, it's not going into this like, thinking you're above other people. It is changing priorities and looking at life different and seeing things different, seeing it through your new eyes, seeing it through your soul's eyes. And so it's through your spirit. So it's not self-indulgent, it's self-protecting or it's like there's another word, but I can't, but it's very it's like knowing what you need and taking care of yourself and loving yourself and prioritizing yourself. And part of that is realizing like the world of their work and all that stuff is to suck the life out of you. Oh yeah, there was another thing that came out on the Diddley trial. It's going all this week. Oh, and I thought they were just picking jurors. I don't think it's going. I don't even know what's all going on with that. But shit's going on, and people are focused on it. And so now, I didn't ever hear about the Mike Myers thing. So that maybe is still coming ahead, whatever his involvement is. If he's to testify of what he saw, or if he's going to be testified against, or what he did, who knows. But now Blake Lively's name's come up, and they want to talk to Taylor Swift, and Blake Lively is being accused of being a handler. And what was Ryan Reynolds out there saying all over the place? It was Hollywood arranged marriage, but there's a whole bunch of those, like Justin there, I mean, it's been said Haley is a handler, and all these different guys. Like even I just saw that Timothy Chalamet, he was at something, and then he is with Kendall, and then they make like, oh, this is a couple. I think she's a handler. I think a lot of these people are to keep them in line or keep them spun out on drugs, or it's to keep control. So, anyways, it's weird because there keeps being a flashing over there. I thought it was messing with my head, but then it happened again. I don't know. There's just so much weird shit. I just wish the sky would just hurry up and open. The Anunnaki would come in and land. Let's get this show on the road. That's how I feel about it. It's like, God, it just drags and it just makes it seem so weird. And it makes it seem so crazy. So, anyways, but learning how to love yourself is fucking vital as far as I'm concerned. But that's also coming from somebody who I had to learn to love myself. I didn't. I was getting stomped all over. So you have to learn to love yourself, because otherwise you don't take care of yourself. You don't prioritize yourself. You let other people decide what it is you need. And so you have to figure out what it is you need. And then you have to stand up to the people who want to push in on you. And you have to, stand for yourself. It's like becoming your own best friend, becoming your own advocate. And so, and that's hard for a lot of people. So that's why you got to learn to do it. You got to heal to do it. And so it's learning how to love yourself through this healing process. But it has great significance in your life once you see the difference of living a life where you didn't love yourself and living the life where you do love yourself. It's totally different. In the loving yourself, it isn't at all like selfish or self-indulgent or anything. It's different because through the pain of learning to love yourself, you build compassion and empathy, and you let go of things. You see people, different. You don't see them as monsters trying to destroy you. You see it as like, man, we're just a bunch of broken people, and everybody's fumbling around and playing different roles, and it falls into patterns. So anyways, to break yourself free from the pattern, noticing your patterns and stuff, is learning how to love yourself, learning how to love everybody, and then how to have the day that you want to have is coming through you. So it's all up to you. So anyways, we'll talk about it again tomorrow. That's what I gotta say about it. So talk to you later. Bye.